Hey guys, CJ here again, and in my car, which is where I do my best rants because I listen to the news or, there's always something going on. And I read this story that really, it really, I'm just so frustrated. I am so frustrated by all this COVID nonsense crap. Okay, I'm peaking. I'm peaking on this whole thing. So, Governor Abbott today, and part of this is kind of humorous. I read a story. Hey, what's going on, Joel? I read this story that kind of cracked me up initially, and then it pissed me off after I was done laughing. That Governor Abbott is now closing bars. Bars are being ordered to close at noon. Think about it. If you're at a bar before noon, you might want to kind of wonder if there's a problem, first of all. Okay, hey, if you want to be at a bar at noon, that's fine. I mean, I know not everybody works. Some people are retired, and maybe that's when they get their best drinking in. I don't know. But come on, you got to laugh at the fact that Governor Abbott says bars have to close by noon. Now we're gonna have all these people running around at noon just drunk off their asses because they're trying to get all their drinking in by noon. It's just what. Okay, so now that I'm done laughing at that, now let's get pissed off. Who the fuck does Abbott think he is, saying that bars have to close at noon? What if it's okay to drink by noon? Why isn't it okay to drink at noon 01? Why isn't it okay to drink at 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 o'clock at night? That's the stupidest, most statist, communist bullshit. I'm sorry, I'm fed up with what Governor Abbott is doing. Who does he think he is? And now we're going back to 50% capacity at restaurants. That restaurants have to go down to 50% capacity. My gosh, why don't we just completely institute communism and let the government run everything? If that's what Governor Abbott thinks he's got the power to do. This is such crap. All we're going to be doing, we are going to stay in this cycle of easing, tightening. Why? Because when things start getting better, we're going to open back up again. And guess what? The virus isn't going anywhere. The virus is not going anywhere. And the only way we're going to be able to deal with it is through building up immunities. Is through dealing that's how these viruses are combated, is that our human bodies fight them. But the way that the government is handling this is they're preventing society. Yes, we're going to have cases. Yes, people are probably going to die. But no, it's going to be 0.3% of them because this isn't a deadly virus. And so what these morons in government and these government supporting doctors are doing, because there are plenty of doctors out there that are saying exactly what I'm saying. So here's my thoughts. When you've got doctors that say we have to clamp down, and you have other doctors that say no, we need people exposed so we can gain immunity on this stuff, then the only discussion on who to believe at this point is the discussion on, okay, which point of view, because there are two of them, which point of view is more conducive to liberty? Which point of view is more conducive to freedom? Which point of view is more conducive to protecting people's rights? It's the one that says, stop controlling my movements. Stop controlling what I wear. Stop controlling my businesses. Because you know what the second wave is going to come from? It's going to come from the government ceasing their control over everything. And then you know where the third wave is going to come from? It's going to come after government controls what happens after the second wave, and then they lift their restrictions on that. And then you know where the fourth, because we're going to be on this roller coaster of COVID. We're going to be on this roller coaster of COVID as long as we continue to buy this idea that when the cases go down, we open up. But when the cases go up, we close down. It's just going to keep going like that because it's so incredibly frustrating. And you've got all of these people out there who believe that government knows better than they do. You've got all these people out there that says, well, Governor Abbott says so, so by golly, you need to wear your mask and you need to stay home. Look, if you are so afraid of dying of a virus, stay your ass home. Don't go anywhere, okay? It's that simple. If you are so afraid, have your groceries delivered to you. Have your stuff delivered to you. Do the whole curbside pickup, contactless. But what we're doing is we're being tricked and we're being convinced and we're being brainwashed and we're being socially engineered to believe that government has our best interests at stake. That when the government is telling you that it's okay to drink before noon, but you can't drink after noon because the bars are closed, seriously? Is that the kind of government that we want to live in? What next? When a government can tell you that you have to put a face mask on? Well, hell, why can't the government tell you have to start wearing diapers now? Okay, because we need to control what's put into our water system. If a government can force you to wear a mask, a government can force you to wear a diaper. And if you're okay with that, there's something wrong with you. There is something wrong with you. But if you are so afraid that you think the only way that you can be safe is by government dictating what I can do, you are a part of the problem. By the way, this isn't a real badge. It says shiny badges don't grant extra rights, just so you know. As a matter of fact, I keep this is the actual patch that I made it from. I don't know if you can read that or not, but people think I'm wearing a police shirt. I'm not. I keep this on my dashboard, so if I ever get pulled over, it's the first thing the cop sees because it's right next to the window. But anyway, back to my rant. We have a governor that believes, hey Terry, we have a governor that believes that he is God at this point. And then we have a bunch of idiots in society that are supporting Abbott, not because he's right, not because he's wise, but because he's got an R next to his name. Oh, I'm a Republican? Abbott's a Republican? Abbott's telling me that I need to bend over and take it up the ass? Okay, I'll do that. I'm a Republican. And what Governor Abbott is doing is no different. And what is no different than what Obama would do or what a Democrat would do. For those of you that are supporting this nonsense, I want you to do a gut check here and think about this. Let's pretend that someone like Wendy Davis or MJ Hagar is governor right now. And Governor Wendy Davis says, hey, yeah, we're closing all the bars at noon. Bars, you're required to close at noon. You dumbasses that are out there supporting Abbott right now would be like, oh, this is so wrong. You're controlling our lives. This is bad. We got to free. It's communism. But yet, because it's Abbott and he's got an R next to his name, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, hey, he's taking care of us, you know. I mean, you got to do what's right. Wear your mask. I'm fed up with it. So do that. Whenever Governor Abbott comes out with a new policy and it's restrictive, ask yourself, okay, how would I react if it was a Wendy Davis policy? How would I react if it was a President Obama policy? How would I react if it was an MJ Hagar policy or some Democrat policy? My gosh, you people would be flipping out. That's how the Tea Party got started. The Tea Party got started because Democrats were doing the exact same kinds of crap that Governor Abbott is doing right now. We need to wake up as a people and stop this nonsense. Okay? It's pissing me off because now, I mean, it's just gotten to the point where if I wanted to go out with my wife, I could go out with my wife. Now, we're back down to this 50% capacity crap, and you go in there and you've got to wait for hours because only half the tables are available. And guess what that means? That means only half the people are being employed. And if only half the people are being employed, that means that half the people are out of work. Or at least their hours are cut in half. That's not a conservative policy. That's not a Republican platform idea. That's not a freedom-oriented political ideology. My gosh. This stuff is stupid. All right, let me see what, I'm sorry. I'm going to pay attention. I said what I had to say. I didn't want to make this a long video. Let me see if there are any questions on here, and then I'm going to close this out. All right, yeah, stay locked in your sanitized, sterile closet. Leave me out of it. Absolutely. Geez, 100%. I'm offended by those tassels hanging from your rearview mirror. Yeah, this is my, what is this anyway? Oh, this is my Phi Theta Kappa. This is, you know, because I was smart in college. I was educated. I got straight A's. I know. It's very childish, isn't it? CJ, were you there to save the Alamo? Yes, I was. Which time? Which time are you talking about there, Donald? Let's see. Yep, just because he's a so-called Republican, some folks just go along. You know, when you stop questioning your government, you start becoming a slave. When you stop questioning your government just because of the party that's in power, you are a slave. You're a problem. You're a slave to a party. Exactly, Top. Two heads of the same snake. That's what it's become. Did Bloomberg pay off Abbott? It would seem that way. Yeah, the mortality rate is 0.005% according to the CDC. See, but I mean, even 0.3%, if we make it higher, is still nonsense. It's still not worth all this crap. Why aren't restaurants defying these stupid invalid orders? I'll tell you why, Joel. Because they're afraid. Because the power of government, they will send armed people to your establishment to force money out of your pockets if you don't obey. And a lot of these businesses, especially restaurants, the profit margin for a restaurant is extremely low as it is. The food service industry, there's not a huge profit margin unless you're a giant, you've got a whole bunch of restaurants where you can use quantity or you know as to raise money on. And that's why a lot of these people are afraid of the fines, because they can't afford the fines. Then they're just going to shut down altogether. All right, did I get everybody? Okay. Yeah, and you're right, Susanna. Vote him out. He's not up for election this year, but we need to find a primary challenger to Abbott. Now, there are a couple of people I recommend we need to start contacting. One of them is Bob Hall, Senator Bob Hall. Former Senator Don Huffines would make a great governor. Former Senator Don Huffines. We need to start talking to those individuals about getting him to run in primary against Abbott. Dwayne Stovall, another perfect. No, not me. You don't want me as governor. And I don't really want to be governor either. I like yelling about politicians, not becoming one. But Dwayne Stovall, Bob Hall, heck, Jonathan Stickland, or Don Huffines. I think Don Huffines or Bob Hall would make a great governor, and keep to his. They would keep to their word. All right, guys, I got to go. I've got some errands to run. Y'all take care, be safe, and be free. I'm done with my rant, and sorry that I used some bad language. The army comes out of me, the cavalry comes out of me when I get really upset, and when government is trying to run my life and everyone else's life. And you know, this idea is, oh, but it only applies to businesses, CJ. It doesn't affect you. It does affect me. If I want to go and engage in a voluntary exchange of services and money with a restaurant or a bar. I don't drink, so I don't go to the bars, and I'm still upset. I don't drink, but yet I'm upset that bars are closing. I should have that right and that ability to go to a restaurant and be served, because they should have that right and ability to serve me if that's what they want to do, and provide me with money without the government saying, well, you can provide the public with services, but only half of what you're capable of doing. Anyway, y'all take care, be safe, and be free.